Ay. Otra vez. Come here. Let me tell you something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Welcome back to this, your Thursday night, 7 o'clock edition of the Tampa Native Show. And we're live. My name is Mario Nunez. And as always on Thursday evening, I'm seated alongside my broadcast partners. Here to my left,
Steve Canella.
Steve Canella, and to my right,
Sally Nunez.
and we're here live each and every Thursday night. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You're in for a special treat. Tonight we have with us, why am I looking at that camera when the red light is right over here? tonight's you think this was my first week doing
You'd
this?
be a pro by now,
You think it's my first
I
week?
think we have two red lights.
All right, here we go. Let's start over again. Hi, welcome to the Tampa Native Show. My name is let's go ahead and pick it up from tonight's very special topic, your first car. Now, I know that may sound trivial to some people, like why and how does this have to do with Tampa history and keeping with what we do here at the Tampa Native Show, but let me explain. You know, there was something very special about your bicycle when you were about 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, and that's because it got you out of the house, Steve.
Freedom.
It was freedom. It meant that you could go further than wherever your feet could carry you. But then when you got to be about 15, you couldn't wait to get your restricted driver's
At age
license.
15,
at
right?
age 15,
Yeah.
back then. You had to have mom or dad or your older brother or sister driving with you, but that was okay. At least you could grip the wheel. But then when you got 16, when you turned 16, you got to get your operator's license. And man, that was something truly, truly special. Well, what came along with that? Your first car. And in most cases, your first car, well, unless you were pretty fortunate,
Your parents' car.
it wasn't going to be something brand new off the lot.
Hand me down, right?
It was probably going to be somebody's hand-me-down or a neighbor who had a second-hand car that they were willing to
Right,
sell to your
right.
parents for cheap because you probably didn't have enough money yourself to buy it. But you know what, our fans, we put out the all-call this week, and our fans responded in kind. They sent in all their pictures. And tonight we're going to be talking about your first car. And if you did buy a brand new car, if you were lucky enough, tell us where you got that car.
Yeah, that would be
because we
interesting.
all remember those wonderful car dealerships, which a lot of them we mentioned last week
did,
in our
we did.
second episode of Where Have They Gone? Those car dealerships like Royal Buick, like Jim Harrell Pontiac, like Bill Curry Ford,
Furman Chevrolet.
Furman Chevrolet,
Cadillac.
Furman Olds, Bay Cadillac. So get ready to call in a little bit later when we ask for your phone call. Stevie, give them that number in preparation.
That number is 977-6800. That's area code 813. Here it is,
there
right here
it
on the
is,
screen.
right there on your screen.
We're getting calls already.
How convenient.
813-977-6800, which is pretty amazing because we typically at the top of the show have an opportunity to show our own pictures, tell our own stories, but we don't want to leave anybody out.
That's right.
Here's what I think is happening, if I may say. I think that people are catching on to the fact that if you call in and you tell us your story, not only is it going to be archived into perpetuity at the University of South Florida Special Collections Library, but you may get a chance to win something here on the show. And Steve, we do a bolita drawing every week.
Every week.
And what is it they're going to win this week? Well, Hold it up for him, Stevie. Let us see what that is. Hold it up into your
Very
camera
comfortable
right
Tampa Natives special shirt here, 50-year anniversary. In fact, the baseball diamond on the back with all of our 50-year legacy sponsors.
That's right.
And it's a very comfortable comb cotton shirt. I love it. I wear mine all the time.
Real form fitting too. So, if you've been working out, this is the shirt for you. And if you haven't, you might want to start working out before you give us your Bolita number. Now, something very unique happening in studio that I want to bring to our technical director's attention. We've got 2 camera lights that are on simultaneously. It looks like Steve's individual light is showing on.
Guess which camera is working.
That's
on
right.
us.
But we do have a monitor in studio, which if Mario had been paying attention at the top of the show, he would have noticed that he was looking into his number 1 camera when we were on the 3 shot. Well, we've got 2 callers. I'm going to ask Dory to let us know which caller called in first. And I'll go ahead and go to caller on line 5 here in just a second. You get ready with your stories. You get for caller line 4, you get ready with your stories, and as soon as you see us hang up one line, that means that a line's going to be open for you. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and take these 2 callers.
Why not?
Then we'll come back, and we will go ahead and show you our photographs of our first cars. And Steve, spoiler alert, Steve, our resident IT guy,
That's right.
has put together another video, just like he did last week.
Incredible video, too.
Images you probably haven't seen before of a very special landmark near and dear to all of us. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's go to caller on line 4. Darling, do the honors.
Caller, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey guys, this is Skipper from Seminole.
Hey, Skipper from Seminole. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm on my way back from dinner out in Temple and Tarpon Springs, and we're heading home. I thought I'd give a call in.
Look at you, look at you. And you know what? At 7:01, the phone was already ringing, and we thought, who could that be?
It's got to be Skipper.
It's got to be Skipper.
He's proactive.
Leading things off. Well, but we also know one thing about you, too, Skipper, besides the fact that this is Joe Abini, for those of you that haven't figured that out already. We know something about you. Besides the fact your love of baseball, you also have a love of cars. You want to share with some of our viewers and fans where that got started?
Yeah. Well, I started out. My cousins have an automotive machine shop and have had a business for over 50 years. And
There you go.
I used to go from high school. Used to work on cars all the time at their shop after school or on the weekends when I wasn't playing baseball. And that's where the love came around for doing it. So I had an in. So all the speed stuff, all the hot rod stuff, I had an in on all that.
Where was the shop, Joe?
The shop originally was up on Kennedy Boulevard, or close to where Furman is. I don't know if it's
Okay,
Yeah,
in
okay.
downtown, in the downtown area.
yeah, just west of downtown. Yep,
Sure?
Oh, cool.
right on Kennedy. Yep,
Very nice.
yep. So it was cool. It was, and he still got the business. That he used to do stuff for Don Garlis and Art Malone and
Wow.
Mark Martin and
Mark Martin, that's a familiar name for
Yeah,
NASCAR
we've
fans.
heard
And
that
Big
one
Daddy
for a
Don,
while.
he's in the Hall of Fame too, Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Yep. He used to do all kinds of engine work and machine work for those guys. So that's where it started.
Very nice.
And you, and correct me if I'm wrong, Skipper, but you came into your formative years right about the time that the automobile and the interstate system was spreading throughout America, so hence cars became something real popular more than ever before with teenage boys, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I had one my senior year in high school, and I bought my first one when I signed. So it's that's the middle '60s to late '60s. There was a lot of automoting around the area.
Yes.
And
yes.
what was your car when you signed? What'd you get?
My dad let me buy, because you got to remember I was only 17 years old, but he let me buy a 1967 brand new Ford Falcon.
Oh.
Nice. What color?
It was the dark green, the forest green.
Very nice.
nice.
Very
We had a
nice.
1960 Ford Falcon.
Yeah, the Falcons, I believe my brother had a 64.
They were popular.
Yellow
then.
Falcon. Yeah, they were. They were everywhere. If you couldn't get a Mustang, you got a Falcon. Let's face it. I mean, that's how it was. Was it 3 on the column?
Originally it was 3. You're right, exactly. 3 on the column when I first got it.
There you go. There you go.
Very
Well,
nice.
Skipper, drive home safely, and when you get home, fire up that laptop, and you'll get to see the rest of the show. We'll wait until you get there, so we'll show that video, because we don't want you to miss that video. So how
I got
far,
your numbers,
So how far
Joe.
until we get home?
I'm probably 15 minutes from home.
All right, then we'll wait till the bottom of the hour at 7:30. So if you're watching now at home and you're like Skipper rushing to get home too, call your fans now. Call your friends now. 7:30. We're going to show that special video. You won't want to miss it. Thanks so much for calling. We've got your number, Skipper.
We do.
All right. You'll take care.
Salute and happy days, Joe. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, look at this. Hot and heavy. We're getting emails, phone calls.
Oh, we knew this was going to
Cars,
happen.
wonderful cars.
Cars, wonderful cars. We do have a line open, so call us now. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, good evening, Tampa natives. This is Hugh from South Tampa.
Hi,
Hi,
Hugh from
Hugh.
South
There he is.
Tampa. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hello, Hugh.
I have my first car, and I have a little story for it.
Please.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, it was a Ford Comet, and it was a
Comet.
six-cylinder, had air conditioning if you roll down the crank windows.
Yeah, 4x60. Four
corner windows.
windows by 60 miles an hour. We all had that.
That's right. And I worked when I was going to school. When I was going to junior college, I worked with a place called Dale. Here's a place, Dale Mabry Tire and Battery Service, Kennedy Dale Mabry.
Okay.
There, and an older mechanic,
remember that.
calling it a Comet, he used to call it a vomit. He
Oh, no.
knew all about cars, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the story is that on the right side, the passenger side, after about a year, I bought it in '69. After about a year, the floor started rusting out real badly.
Oh, no.
This wasn't a great thing for the dating situation. You
No,
know?
not at all.
So I went down to Tampa Sheet Metal and had some sheet metal put in it because you could actually see
The road,
the pavement.
Like the Flintstones.
like the Flintstones.
Yeah.
So you know it wasn't good for
No.
you know. So, but they did a real good job on it, and you know there was no carpeting or anything on that model. You know.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Metal hard floors, metal flooring.
yeah, so
Wow, we've come a long
Back
way,
in the
man.
day.
We have come a long
Yeah.
way.
that got taken care of. But it got me barely to school and back. You know.
But it worked.
And it was like anything else. You know, it was ours. It might have been the worst beater in the world, but you know, you washed it and you cleaned it and you got the Windex on those windows, man. It was your
It
car.
was your very own.
It was the paint was all faded, but I still washed and waxed it.
Of course. Well, wait till you
Wash the metal.
I've got a story about my first car as well, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Hugh, thanks so much for calling. That's a very
What's your
entertaining
Bolita
story.
number?
Good story.
Your Bolita number?
I'll take my standard 23.
23 it is.
23.
Thanks, Hugh.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take good care. That's a
Alright.
great story.
That's an awesome story.
Because it didn't really matter. We've got a line open for
No.
those of you that might like to call in. It didn't really matter what the car looked like.
No.
You could always buy those green pine tree
Air fresheners.
air fresheners to take out
Dude.
whatever hideous smell might have been in there. You know, if it got wetted, so whatever. It didn't matter. You just it was
It was your
It
transportation
was your baby. It
and
was
your freedom. So everything
and if
else
you
didn't
wanted
matter.
to go out, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go out and go
Put
to the
some
movies,
seat covers on, you know.
that was how you got about with your girlfriends.
Oh, you know
or
what?
your boyfriends.
Alyssa Governale, she writes, my mom's first car was a green GTO. Bought it at Hillsborough Auto Supermarket. That sounds familiar.
Yes, it does.
Hillsborough Auto Supermarket. Our Bolita numbers are 10 and 22.
10 and 22
10
for
and
the Governals.
22.
And then
Thank
Jim-
you so much, Alyssa. That's
yeah,
great.
thank you, Alyssa. And Jim Carney,
Little
Bolita
GTO.
number 39
Hold
for Jim
on.
Carney. Great
Who
show
was
theme.
the other one for Alyssa?
Oh, it's
Alyssa
Terry.
and Terry Governal.
Great show, great theme. Deluxe model 1965 Chevy Impala with power bench seat. My grandfather gave it to me.
Wow,
Great.
that
That's
was,
that's
and that's another
amazing,
thing
yeah.
that we
There you
Whose
go.
was that? What number was that?
39 for Jim Carney.
39.
Jim Paco Malo, 39.
Paco Malo.
And that's another thing that we forget. We forget about bench seats.
That's right.
And bench seats were preferred back in the 60s, as I recall, especially for teenagers, boys in particular, because you wanted to be cool and you wanted to have your girlfriend sitting right next to you. Seatbelts weren't mandatory back then, Stevie. Remember, seatbelts weren't.
no,
you know,
no.
they didn't, and it was a metal hard dashboard. There were no airbags. But, you know, nobody traveled that fast. I mean, let's face it. The speed limit was 55 and you barely went 30 for 45 miles an hour. But it was very cool to have your wrist on the steering wheel and one arm around your girlfriend while she nestled in your arm there. And, you know, you bench seats. Who has bench seats anymore?
Nobody. I mean, now they're all bucket seats now. So
bucket seats.
with the console in the middle.
Those were the days.
No.
I've got a good story about seatbelts, so we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that in just a
Yeah.
minute. So let's go to caller on line 4. Look at these calls. You guys are doing great tonight. Keep it up. But we're going to have to put you on hold in a minute so we can show our pictures.
I
But
know.
keep the calls coming in. We appreciate it. Line 4. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Robert Gonzalez.
There he is.
there
Hey,
he
Robert, how
is.
are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How you guys?
You know
Good,
what, Robert,
good.
let
How
me
are you?
ask you before we get going, and I'm going to ask, and I know Hugh is still out there, and Hugh is still listening and watching, and I forgot to ask
did
Skipper,
forget.
because I'm doing an unscientific survey
doing
here.
a theme.
I want to find out, in addition to your first car, I'm going to ask you now, so that all of our callers coming in henceforth will tell me, Broncos or Seahawks? It's Super Bowl weekend. What do you got?
Actually, I don't really care.
So can I vote
That-
for you?
That's the third
And-
column.
I'm kind, I'm kind of
NFC, but
Okay, well, if you're NFC, leave it there. We'll go with Seahawks.
yeah.
There you go. NFC, we got you down. Now, tell us your car story, Papa.
The first car I bought and paid for myself
Uh-huh.
was a brand new 1974 American Motors Javelin.
Wow.
Hey, Javelin.
Remember the
That's a good
commercials?
car.
Hey, Javelin. Remember the commercials, Steve?
I don't remember that one,
Oh,
actually.
you remember? Do you remember that, Robert?
Yeah.
The Javelin go down the street, and that was the commercial. Hey, Javelin.
I remember seeing those on the road, though.
Can't believe you don't remember that.
That was a bad car.
Horrible. But the only thing worse than that was the Pacer.
Oh, no. I'm not telling you, man. You
He
remember
thinks it was a good bad car.
That was a bad car?
Yeah.
I mean,
He has a picture of the bad car.
Yeah, no. And it could be because if you knew how to shackle the back end up, get them 6-inch shackles in there with the big tires, it had that kind of a look to it. You know, the Javelin did.
yeah. Oh, the American Motors Javelin I had looked fast, just parked in the parking lot.
It did have that look. It did have that look.
What color was it?
What color?
It was like an electric blue, something like a Richard
Nice.
Petty blue.
Damn, Robert, I never
Wow.
would have picked you for an electric blue kind of a guy. You know, that's pretty cool.
And but that wasn't the very first car I had. The first car I had was a hand-me-down
Okay.
from my brother when I was a junior at Hillsborough High School. My brother enlisted in the United States Air Force,
All right.
so I got his hand-me-down,
Which was?
an English Ford Cortina.
Oh,
Cortina.
wow.
Yeah.
I remember the name.
I have
don't
to look.
remember
I have
what
to
it looks
Google
like,
that. I have to
though.
Google that because I don't remember what it looked
I
like.
remember the name.
What was the body style like? Square, boxy? What did?
Not a square, boxy type thing.
Yeah.
It was,
Cortina.
but it was quick.
Front engine, mid engine, rear engine.
Front engine.
Front engine. Okay.
And I got so many speeding tickets in that car.
Oh, super.
4 on the floor.
Yes.
Oh,
Fun.
That's why.
Fun. And that's another thing we need to talk about. I should also ask, and you know what, Hugh, call us back and let us know. And Skipper, when you get home, I'm going to ask you to call back too. Here's another question I need to ask. Besides Seahawks or Broncos, can you still, or do you remember, did you ever learn to drive stick shift? Obviously you did.
Yes. Yes.
Most of us had to because automatics weren't necessarily the thing of the day. So even the girls had to learn to drive gears.
Yeah. I learned how to drive stick shift with the car that my brother had before that,
Which was?
a 1959 Triumph TR3.
Wow,
That's a cool
59.
Yes.
Well, we got some pretty cool cars coming up here in a minute. Marilyn Messina showed us some. She sent us some
Amazing
pictures of her first cars and Anthony's first car, and really and truthfully, wait till you see those, Robert. This is going to knock your socks off. Hey, let us get your Bolita number.
My brother's Triumph TR3, the doors were cut so low, you could actually be sitting in a car with, it was a convertible when it didn't have windows, it had side curtains that you had to bolt on.
Oh wow!
When the side curtains were off, you could actually be sitting in your car and put your hand out,
You touched the ground.
touch the street.
Oh wow, that's like a race.
That's like a used car.
There's your English racer style, body style.
Yeah, that was.
Cortina.
We always had some. I've always had a huge interest in cars, and I still do. And we had some bad cars.
Yes, you did, Robert. Well, listen.
Sounds like it
next
did.
time
I think
we
it's more of a guy thing.
next
anyway.
time we get to some girls were into that too. Next time we get together, let's talk a little more about these cars.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd like to tell you about Carrie's first car too.
All right, thank you so much. And we got a
us your
picture
Bolita
coming up.
number.
We got a picture coming up of another car of yours, so stay tuned for that. Your Bolita number?
36.
36. Thank you, Robert. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Robert.
All right.
We got you down for Seahawks. Thanks, Robert.
Perrette Seahawks. Email.
Oh, Hugh Perrette Seahawks. Excellent. All right.
You want us to roll some pictures?
Well,
What do you
let's
think?
go to line 5 real quick.
Okay, we have time,
And
yeah.
then we'll take a little bit of a break and show our pictures real quick.
Mike Baloo.
Caller, you just got in. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Larry Cox, and I live in Lutz.
Hey, Larry.
Larry Cox
Larry?
from Lutz. Now, listen, Larry, have you called the show
Larry's his
before?
first time.
I did.
I think
time
you
before.
did?
I want to ring the bell tonight,
remember.
man. Somebody call first time caller. You know, I always get the heads up, but I just thought I'd ask anyway. Hi, Larry. How have you been?
Good. Very good.
Wonderful. We got a picture of yours. You sent it in. We got a picture. We're going to get to that in just a couple of minutes, but tell it. Well, you want to show the picture while Larry's on the phone?
Larry Cox? I don't remember getting his photo.
Larry Cox, Steve.
No, I don't remember.
Steve. Larry Cox, Steve. From
No.
Drew Park, Larry Cox.
Oh, no, that's Tom Rose.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's different.
I digress.
Yeah.
This Tampa Native show host has made a boo-boo.
You stand
Oh
corrected.
my!
All right, Larry, I
Need to
stand
record
I
that
stand
one.
corrected, man. Tell us your first car.
My first car was a 1957 Chevrolet station wagon.
Wow, station wagon, brother. So you were popular because you could pack a lot of people in that thing.
And I did. We hauled a lot of kids around.
I bet you did. Going to the beach.
drive-in?
Going to the beach on Sundays, the drive-in.
Oh, drive-in's perfect.
Yep. It had a V8 and a 3-speed transmission, stick shift.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I learned to drive on, was a stick shift. So
There you go. Most of us had to. It was a requirement. We didn't have a choice.
Yeah. But I got the car from my uncle from a place that nobody's mentioned on your show yet.
All right.
He bought it brand new from Bowood Chevrolet.
Ah! There's your bell ring. There's your bell ring.
I
Thank you,
remember that
brother.
place.
Everybody
Wow.
remembers
Yeah.
Bowood Chevrolet, man. That's great.
Yeah.
He bought several cars from them, but
memory.
he bought this one, drove it for years, and he used it for a delivery truck. He delivered eggs.
Okay.
My uncle owned Miller's Poultry Farm on the corner of Orient Road and Chelsea.
Wow. Okay, I know exactly where that is. I
Yeah.
know exactly where that is.
It's been gone for 50 years.
Sure, sure. But we know that part of town.
Yeah, that's where I grew up there, and had that car, and I drove the wheels off that car.
I bet you did.
Troopers with that car.
And back then, it was wide open, man. It was the country,
Yeah.
so you could get down them country roads and
And not so many cars.
get after
Pedal to
it.
the metal.
Yeah, get after it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that car.
I bet you did. Larry, did we discuss where you went to high school? Were you a King High?
I went to King High School.
Yeah, that's right. That's about right. Because that would have been either King or Tampa Bay Tech out in that kind of area. You'd have been districted that way. Well, let me get you. Seahawks or Broncos?
Broncos.
Broncos, okay. Very good. Gonna go Peyton Manning. Offense over defense. And how about your lucky Bolita number?
Number 8.
Lucky number 8.
It's free.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks for looking
Thank
in
you,
on
Larry.
us, man. And thanks for reminding us about Bowood Chevrolet. We appreciate
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Thanks for sharing your story, man. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
A lot of those station wagons, they had
Good
the wood,
call.
the wood on the side.
Yeah,
the,
of course,
Woodies.
family. Yeah, the Woodies.
Yeah.
Of
Call them Woodies.
course. Of course. Gosh, we got another
Surfer
caller.
cars.
Okay, we got to take this call, and then we're going to get to some pictures. I promise. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Bruce in South Tampa.
This is
Bruce
Bruce from South
Krentzman.
Tampa. We know who you are, Bruce Krentzman. You can't lie to us. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Great. A little cold out here.
Oh man,
No kidding,
Yeah,
I'm over
and
it.
wet too. And once
tired of it.
Once the house cools down, and it's like your body. Once your bones get chilled, it's hard to
Hard to
shake
warm
that
it
thing,
up.
man.
Yeah.
Right.
We're ready for the sun to come back anytime
am.
now.
My memory kicked in on the Javelin commercial back in the day.
Was I right?
Yes, but there was also a girl in the commercial. I think, if I'm correct me if I'm right or wrong.
Uh-huh.
She had a little goldfish in a bowl next to her.
Oh, I got
Maybe we can YouTube that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
Find
to.
it.
We'll have to
Or
research that one.
if anybody's out there, Steve, you got the
Somebody
computer
else
in front of you.
might
You
know,
could
yeah.
YouTube it right now.
Yeah.
If anybody's out there and they remember that, call us and verify that, or send us an email. goodtimes@tampanativeshow.com. I remember what I remember mostly distinctly about that commercial was the tagline, which was "Hey Javelin," when the Javelin went streaking down the street. They were calling to the Javelin.
Yeah.
The goldfish and the girl. There was probably a girl, because as Robert alluded to,
There was
the car
girls
was a
in all the
sporting.
commercials back then.
Well, they sold the cars, didn't
That's
they?
right. They still do.
What did you drive?
My first car was a Falcon, and then I got a Mercury Comet.
Oh, the comment.
See,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you had both the Falcon and the Comet,
both.
man. Apparently, those were very popular cars back then. Well, popular, maybe not so much,
Oh,
but
and then
plentiful.
Right.
Comet had chrome reverse wheels on it.
Well, that's cool.
In the back.
That's cool.
And I have a little amusing story. A few years later, I lived in Atlanta, and I didn't have insurance, and I totaled my car.
No,
Oh, no.
you didn't.
And my parents drove up a '67 Chevrolet Impala to me to use. And my father thought he would be doing something nice, and he got it painted for me.
Oh, no.
He's colorblind,
Oh, no.
picked out the taxi cab orange. Or
Oh,
That yellowish thing
no.
looking stuff?
that's
Yeah,
not
in
pretty.
Atlanta at the time, they used '67 Chevys as taxi
Oh,
so-
say no
Were
more,
people
my brother.
stopping you for
Say
a
no
gas-
All
more.
you needed was a meter.
I went somewhere, meet some friends. They just goofed on me and go. They pretended like they were hailing a cab.
Exactly.
As I drove up.
That's
Have
funny. That's funny. That's
mercy.
a good story.
Have mercy. Well, I can't top that.
No.
I got a couple of amusing
That's-
stories about my cars, but that one I can't
That's
top.
the top story of the
Yeah,
night so far.
man. Bruce is always good for that, man. Bruce is always good for that. Did we get your Broncos Seahawks?
Broncos.
All right, that's two
Okay.
for two Broncos.
And your Bolita
And your
number?
Bolita number, Bruce?
45.
45.
Man, thanks for looking in
Thank
on
you,
us. We
Bruce.
can always count on you sharing some really entertaining and fun stories. And I can tell, man, just from what we know about you, Bruce, your upbringing was fun. You had great parents, man. They had sense of humor, and you know what I mean. You just had a good time. It sounds like you had a good time.
Sure did.
He did a lot.
And Tampa was
tell.
great for that too. So thanks, Bruce. We appreciate you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you,
Take
buddy.
care.
Bye bye.
Hey, Mike Bluha.
Okay.
Real quick, Charlie Harris Pontiac on Hillsborough and down Mabry.
All right.
My first car my parents bought me was a used AMC Gremlin, gray with a
Oh,
neon
Gremlin,
orange
yeah.
stripe and Levi seats. Remember the Levi seats?
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
with the tab and everything.
Yeah,
Nice tab.
a 4-speed with one of those huge floor mount 8-track tape decks.
Oh yeah.
I was 16 years old and was able to get my license after attending Safeway Driving School on Kennedy Boulevard.
Wow.
Bolita 13,
Safeway, I remember
Bolita
that.
13
and
for
Bolita
Mike.
18 for Cindy.
18 for Cindy,
Yeah, they're
13
there.
for Mike, and they're pretty lucky.
Wow.
They win a lot here on the show. Listen,
amazing.
we see a caller on line 5. Caller, hang on just a minute. We're going to show you a couple. We're going to show everybody a couple of pictures, and let me get your Broncos Seahawks pick currently.
I say Broncos.
Okay, Broncos. Wow, Stevie, you know what you're doing?
I think so.
Baby, how about you?
I don't really care.
Well, you know,
Broncos, I guess.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, I'm
Tip
gonna
the scales here.
Nah, yeah, well, it's 4-3 because I'm going
Okay.
Seahawks.
Okay.
I'm just going to go defense over offense and see what happens. I mean, you know, if Peyton's going to be able to figure out a way to do it, but I think the overriding storyline will be the weather, man. I just think the weather's going to be atrocious, and it's just going to make it difficult to do anything, and it's not going to be Super Bowl-like. Okay, I digress. We're talking first car tonight. Becky, go ahead and show that first picture, and I think I know what you're going to show, and I'll get to it because I think it's my picture first.
The first
I'm
three?
first up. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
first up. So if you want to go to that in a split screen, that's fine. Bring me up in the one camera, and I'll talk over these 3 pictures, which are mine. All right, there you go. That is your friendly Tampa native show host, Mario Nunez. I was 16, soon to be 17. This is summer of 1975. I was playing baseball at the time up at Steve Garvey Field. Steve, you know, it's Roman
That's
Sly.
right, that's where I played.
Mustang Colt League. And I was getting ready for a game. Obviously, I was going to a game. That was my 1969 Toyota Corolla 4-door. Nice part about it was new technology at the time. It was called Toyo Glide. How about that, Stevie?
Toyo Glide.
Toyo-Glide. It was automatic transmission. So I didn't have to change gears.
Oh.
But I knew how to drive a stick, but I didn't have to in this case.
It's convenient.
That was my very first car. It was my dad's car. He bought it brand new in 1969 from Homer F. Herndon Toyota on Florida Avenue. And I drove it with a crashed up front left quarter panel. Legend has it, my brother who was driving it at the time came off the interstate exit ramp and looked back to make sure there wasn't any traffic merging that he could accelerate to go ahead and merge into the lane, but he forgot to look forward because there was a car in front of him.
Oh, no.
So he smashed into the car, and
Nice.
of course I never fixed it. I just drove it like that. And to was it to Robert's point? Who was it that was saying that they, even though the car was rusty, they still washed it every day and waxed it?
Oh, yeah, it didn't matter.
Yep,
Yeah.
it didn't matter. I mean, I even waxed the rusted part. How
Right.
about that? That's very sad. That's my first car. Okay, second picture. This arguably was one of my favorite cars that I had. This was my second
Oh, the
car.
Beetle.
1966 Volkswagen Beetle. Man, I loved
Don't you wish
that.
you had it now?
I would give anything to have that car. That car was so clean, you could eat off the floor mats. Interesting story. I'm cleaning the car there, as you can see, and that mat that I'm holding in my hand was the remnants, Steve, check this out, was the remnants to carpeting from the brand new, not yet constructed,
yeah.
Jefferson High School at the time.
Oh, wow, that's
we used to go, my buddy Lou Garcia and myself, we would ride our bikes over there to Jefferson High School in 1973, 74, and they were building the school. We found an open door, we snuck into the school, it's pitch black. We took those carpet remnants. I don't know why.
We did that back then.
I don't know why.
They're cheaper than the
because
formats.
we would have got arrested if they but they worked great.
They
so
were-
anyway,
they
that
were
was the
perfect.
brown carpet.
I use
It's
those all the
still
time.
in the school to this day. I loved that car. My dad, my dad got that car for I don't know, $150 from somebody that he worked with, a gentleman by the name.
$150?
I don't know. Might have been $200, but you know.
Cars were reasonable
You
back
know,
then.
I could fill that thing up with about, I don't know, $3, and it went forever. And of course, it made that sound. It was rear engine. That's my Volkswagen Beetle. Okay, Becky, thank you.
Classic.
Keep me in picture, and I'll talk over the next picture. Because the next picture is very interesting. I don't know what I was thinking here.
Disco fever.
I don't know what I was thinking here, but this is circa 1978, 79. And this is my first car that I bought brand new.
Is that Denny Terrio?
It's Denny Terrio, absolutely. I have my book bag in my hand. I'm taking classes at HCC. I've got my band roll pants on. I'm looking good, I think, Steve. Steve's laughing his head off here.
Platform shoes, bell-bottom pants.
Yep.
Just the way you're standing is pretty
No,
funny
this is the sexiest man alive, I think.
Oh, I don't know about
and it's 1978, and that car, story behind that, Stevie, I ordered that car.
Oh, wow.
I had to wait about 8 weeks for that car to be manufactured in Detroit. I sat down with the sales rep, and I said, okay, I want a Ford Mustang, and I want it to be, I guess, brown was the color that I chose, and it had a certain interior, and I literally picked everything out. Yeah. I picked out the interior, I picked out the style of seats, I picked out the radio. Very cool. And I remember driving by the Bill Curry Ford lot when it was delivered, and it was yet prepped, but I could see it in the back, and I said, well, it's my car, man. I'm going to pick it up, and brand new off the lot with that new car smell. Had about 2 miles on it when I picked it up.
Wow.
Great car. The time that I worked at Highlight, all those years, that's what I drove to Highlight. So, hey, man, because that's how we was rolling back then, I guess.
I don't know what's more interesting, the outfit or the car?
No. The outfit was smoking, man.
It's almost like you've got a briefcase in your hand.
It wasn't a briefcase. It was a book bag. Very odd. Very odd.
Odd picture.
All right. Next picture, darling. I believe you're up.
I don't have any pictures. This is my sister's car that she bought.
All right.
And evidently my father wanted it, so she sold it to him. Right. And the next one was her car, which was a white Mustang.
That's a 1966.
That's sharp.
Yep.
It's a 1966 Ford Mustang, which I still wish we had those two.
Dad
those are very nice too.
promised that to Alex, but then he found out something and he didn't want him to have it. So.
Yeah. And then the next photograph
the next one we could roll on.
was a 1965.
Yeah, there it is.
So you had two
Mustangs.
vehicles.
Yep.
Popular car.
Popular car and beautiful.
Especially in that era.
That was Suzanne's
beautiful.
65 and 66.
Wish I had it.
So that was your sister's first two cars. Do you remember your first car, darling?
My first car was a Dodge Dart. It was one of my parents' old cars.
Yeah.
And my favorite car was my little Volkswagen Beetle that I had recently. But I had many cars.
Those are fun cars.
Dad bought most of my cars. Picked them out because he thought they were safe and.
Very good, very good. Because he could take care of it. He knew. Yeah, he wanted to make sure his daughter had a nice, safe car. All right, Stevie.
Yeah.
You may be up next.
I'm on deck.
And then we got some phone calls to get to, so let's not take too long.
Let's bring up the next two photos, if we will, Becky. And that is 1968, of course, Mercury Montego. That's the car I had. In fact, I bought that from my father. $600, and it was my transportation to and from, mainly my job at Cash and Carry when I was in junior high school.
$600.
But
was it yellow or beige?
It was more like a light green, actually.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, very light green, and it was 3-speed on the column,
which
is great. Had the bench seat also.
Yes.
But I wish I had the car today. I mean, it's really a sharp car.
Brother, you could lay down in the back seat of that car.
You really could.
And not hit door to door.
No, not at all. I mean, plenty of room, plenty of trunk space. It was a great car. But then I got rid of that and went to the next photo, Becky. This is the Buick Opal.
Oh, we remember.
We saw that from last week?
Last week, Royal Buick on Del Mabry and Himes.
And you bought that brand new, correct?
MLK. I brought that brand new, had the new car smell. And if you notice, the hubcaps, and also back then we would have the white around the wheel. We would turn the wheels around sometimes so they would show the black.
That's what Bruce was talking about.
The same thing,
wheels,
right? But that car, it wasn't the most popular car, but I tell you what, it got me around.
And economical too.
Very economical, 4-cylinder engine. It was an Isuzu engine.
4 on the floor?
No. Well, no, it actually was
automatic.
It was automatic.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
By that
so
time,
very convenient. Yeah.
But you went from a car that was big enough for 6 people.
One for 2.
Yeah, you did. Man. So we got some great pictures coming up, and in just a couple of minutes, we're going to show you the video that Steve put together for us, and that runs about 4 minutes, so we've got to save time.
That's a great video.
But our callers have been waiting, so we don't want to make them wait any longer. Caller on line 5. Caller, thank you so much for your patience. You're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. We're live. Give us your name and where you're calling from.
Mario, this is Robert Gonzalez again.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
I just want to confirm, yes, the Javelin did have the goldfish bow. I don't know why. I could not never connect the two, but I love that car. That car was so fast.
Excellent. Thank you for confirming that about the goldfish.
All right, sure.
And we appreciate you calling back, Robert. You're a great fan. Thank you.
All right, so.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Robert.
Did we get his Broncos? Yeah, we did.
We did. And Mike Campus sent us a video
of
the Javelin. But I don't know if it has the one with the goldfish or not, though.
In real time.
Mm-hmm. Real time.
Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Mario, this is Walt Allen.
It is
Hey,
not Walt Allen.
I'll be darned.
Walt Allen, I'm going to ring just because
I
we
don't
haven't
think
heard from
Walt
Walt Allen.
has ever called in.
No, Betty has called,
Betty's
but I don't know
called
that
in.
we've heard from Walt.
I don't think so.
We've heard, you know what we've heard from Walt? We've heard Walt yelling in the background, hey,
Yes.
this is Walt.
This is my number.
Hey, how you doing?
Good,
All right.
Walt. Good to hear from you. So nice to hear from you.
It really is.
Yeah, you talk about whole car. Hold on a minute, please.
Sure.
The dog's barking.
As it will happen on live TV sometimes. You
They
just
don't
get,
care.
Yeah, you just get a little assist from the pooch, from the family pooch.
Yes, that's right. My first car was a '39 Plymouth sedan.
Wow.
Man, how about that?
Yeah.
Is it black?
When I was in the service, I sent money home every month to my dad. So I could have me a car when I got out of the service. And so when I got out, he had purchased this 39 Plymouth from one of his railroad friends.
Yes.
And he said, son, here's the car and here's your money.
Oh.
My first car, the inside was had chrome all around the windshield.
Beautiful.
And the speedometer was up to a certain speed. It was yellow, and then it would turn green. If you got up past 50, if I remember correctly, it would turn red.
50.
That's how old it was.
You know, when I think of a 1939, the colors of the cars back then were either black, sometimes that dark green, maybe white, but mostly black.
Yeah.
It was green.
Green, there you go. That's the other color comes to mind. And in 1939, it conjures up images of, you know, guys with fedoras and you know what I mean?
Gangster cars.
Them gangster cars, man. You weren't a gangster, were you, Walt?
No, not really. Not really. Until, in fact, when Betty and I got married, it was we had our picture taken in a '49 Studebaker.
Wow,
I remember
beautiful. That is wonderful.
We have to get a picture of that.
Hey, do me a favor, because I know Betty's there watching with you. Tell her that I know we still got to get together, and I'm going to hopefully see you guys tomorrow because I got a T-shirt for you. Somebody's got a birthday coming up here pretty soon. We don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I got to get that shirt to you.
That's right. That's right. So maybe we can make contact for it sometime when it's convenient for you.
Very good. Maybe
great.
this coming weekend we'll do it, okay?
Okay, and let's see, my Belita number, let's try what, 27? How's that sound?
27, darling, is it available?
Let's see.
And do you like the Broncos or the Seahawks, Walt?
Beg your pardon?
Do you like the Broncos this weekend in the Super Bowl or the Seahawks?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really a sports fan, so let's go with the Broncos. How about that?
All right, we got you down. Thank you so much for
Nice
calling.
to hear from you, Walt.
Yes,
Great
it
to hear
is.
from you,
Really
Walt.
is.
We'll see you real soon.
Okay, take care of
Take
yourself, and
care.
I enjoy the program.
Thank you
Good.
so
Yeah.
thanks
Nice
so
people.
much. Bye-bye now.
All right, thanks.
It's
Bye-bye.
nice to hear from them.
That's great, man. I get chill bumps because, you know, those fans have been with us since the
Oh,
very,
my
very
gosh.
beginning, and that's Walt and Betty Allen. Wonderful.
Great
All right,
people.
Stevie, after this call, we're going to go to your video. How's that?
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we've got
Let's
some
do
other
that.
photographs. Look at the hour just flying by.
Wow.
You know, when we first conceived of the idea for your first car show, you know, we had some trepidation. That's a
Yeah,
good word.
we weren't
Big
sure.
fancy word. We had some. We weren't sure. We were just kind of. And 15-minute girl, she was like, that's going to be a dud. We don't.
It's a guy thing.
It is a guy thing. But
Well-
it's also a girl thing when you consider that just like you remember your first car, you remember your first boyfriend, you remember your
Right.
first boyfriend's car.
There's a lot of meaning to
There's
that
a
first
correlation.
car. You know, a lot of memories are tied to that.
First
that
kiss,
car.
first
Exactly.
drive-in,
well, that's
first
different.
good
I didn't
stuff.
think about that.
There you go. All right, so without further ado, let's go to caller on line 5, and then we'll come right back and keep going. Caller, thanks for your patience. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is West Cast Nunez.
Oh, is this West Cast Nunez?
West Cast Nunez.
That's a new guy. Have you called the show before?
I think I have, yeah.
All right, I'm not going to ring the bell for you. Now, listen, we all know who you are because your name's right there on the TV screen. This is Felipe Nunez, related to this co-host, this Tampa Natives co-host. Tell us your first car, my good man.
Well, it was a 49 Plymouth, black, and it had a running board.
Wow, running board.
You know, and then the metal of the car was hard. Now you press a finger, you go through, you know?
Right. They were made out of like galvanized
They
metal
made
or what
them
the
to
steel,
last.
I think. Steel, yeah.
Heavy.
And I was driving, I remember I was driving down 8th Avenue to go to the Columbia.
Right.
That way. And my brakes sort of failed.
Uh-oh.
no.
Sort of.
I bought the car for $50.
Okay. You can't buy a tire for $50 now, but we get your point.
And,
Nope.
and the only way I could stop it, it was going slow enough that I went into stop it going into a tree.
Into a tree? Like in It's a Wonderful Life, you just hit the tree.
Yeah, but I
slow, you were slow. You were going slow by that
time.
time.
To stop it.
Right.
Now, furthermore, the picture that you showed with you leaning on the Toyota.
Yes.
Toyota Corolla.
Yes, the one that you bought brand new.
I didn't know the year. What year?
That was 1969.
Okay. You know I paid $2,000 for that car?
Listen.
You know what you pay for a car now?
We have this
$2,000 is even good.
It almost cost $2,000 to fill up the gas tank. We talk about it all the time. What's happened to our dollar? It's just amazing.
Money has changed.
It's just amazing. It's amazing. I mean, Steve bought his car for $600. Yeah. I think. What did you pay for the Volkswagen when you bought it from Story? About $200?
Yeah, around there.
About $200, $150, $200. That's ridiculous, preposterous.
Big difference.
And I remember you with that Volkswagen. You used to get in the middle of the ditch and change the oil.
Yeah, no. Listen, that Volkswagen, I love that car. I love that car.
Why didn't you keep it?
I don't know. I got frustrated. I got frustrated because things started to kind of break down, and then I got antsy.
Something new.
And I think I just got the bug. Well, you saw me in the picture with my Mustang. Didn't I look like a proud new car owner?
Oh yeah.
I don't know whether I was going. It looked like I was going to school because I had the book bag. I think I was going to ditch school and go to the disco. I don't know what was happening in that picture, but I love that car. That car was very cool also. All right, Mr. Nunez, Lefty, as we know you, give us your Bolita number.
You know it's 29.
29, and do you have Seahawks or Broncos?
I got the Broncos.
Wow,
there we go.
The Broncos. Come on, where's the Seahawks fans at? Come on, Seahawks fans. All right, thank you, Lefty. We appreciate you calling, Phil.
Okay, love you.
Love you too, Pop. Thanks.
Does he know East Cass Nunez also?
That's my dad, man.
Well, he's West Cass.
1949.
Well, how about that?
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll take this caller. We got to go to the...
We have to get that video.
All right. Caller, stand by. Caller, we see you there. Thank you for your patience. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Why, hi. This is Preston Hare, calling from downtown Luke.
Preston Hare. Now, I know Preston Hare. This is your first time calling.
King Corona.
No, absolutely. King Corona.
Preston, first time caller?
No, it's not a first time caller.
Damn it.
Oh, darn.
He's not doing too good tonight, Preston.
No, let me just ask. I mean, for the sake, look, I'm frustrated tonight because I just want to ring my bell. But the reality is, and I want everybody to know that, hello, Dory, when she answers the phone, she does this every week. She always asks, are you a first-time caller? So she's always telling me in my ear. So I'm just goofing with you guys. I'm just goofing. She always lets me know, first-time caller, Mario. So, Preston, tell us, what was your first car?
Well, my first car was a 1954 Nash Metropolitan.
Wow, Metropolitan. That sounds like a big car. Was it a big car?
Oh, no, it was a small little square box car. We bought it at Schulstead Motors.
Oh,
right down the corner?
Yeah.
Right. I lived on Cass right there, so it was right on the corner of my street.
Right down there, and my father always bought Ramblers, so he bought...
We had a Rambler, too.
We had a pink Rambler. How about that?
We had a green Rambler.
Everybody had a Rambler.
And it turned out to be a great car because it was a small two-seater.
Mm-hmm.
I had to share the car with my brother, but on dates we used to have, discussions to see who would get to go out in the car.
I'll bet.
Oh, boy, yes, sir.
But the best part is, back then, you had gasoline that was 3 gallons per...
Yes.
Remember, you don't remember.
Well, you bought bulk oil. My father used to tell me that you could buy bulk oil back then. I don't even know what that was, but, the gas was like 18 cents a gallon. I don't know, which is ridiculous.
It was, it was a great economical car. We had a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we drove them like, who was it that said earlier, drive it till the wheels fell off. You just drive the wheels off.
I might have to Google that.
They were great cars.
Yep, that was Larry Cox that said that at the beginning. Well, listen.
They're at the Tower Theater down on the river.
Yep, yep. Well, Preston, thanks so much for this. We got your Bolita number?
No.
No. How about number 40?
40. I think that's fresh.
I think it's free.
And do you have a favorite Broncos, Seahawks?
Well, only one team is going to show up. That's the Broncos.
Oh, my. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to make some bets with some of these Bronco fans. Come on, Seahawks fans. Thank you, Preston.
Nice to hear from you.
Thanks for calling. We'll see you real soon up there at King Corona.
Oh, yeah.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye now.
All right.
Bye.
Stay warm. Thanks. Oh, my.
Wow.
Well, I'm getting a little message in my ear that we have only 15 minutes left of the show, which
Look
is
at our
amazing.
callers.
Wow.
Look at our
But it's
callers.
true.
They're
That's
so
amazing.
good to us. They're
That's
so
amazing.
good to us. Stevie, how long is that video?
The video is 3.5 minutes.
And we have pictures.
And we have pictures too.
And we have 15 minutes.
Yeah,
all
we're
right.
getting
All
I'll
right.
say so.
Back to our caller. Pick up that line and let him know. Hang on there, if you will, Dory. Ladies and gentlemen, never before seen.
Never
Steve,
before
want to set this up for
Dun, dun,
us?
dun.
Well, this is amazing. This is a video from Maria Williams Tripp. She's the daughter of the owner of the old National Auto Supermarket, 1711 East Hillsborough Avenue.
One of those litmus tests that you know you're from Tampa.
Exactly.
Right.
If
That's
you knew
what we
where
ask
Buffalo
people.
Avenue was, if you knew what Hutto's Corners meant, Hutto's Corner, and if we tell you
1711
East Hillsborough Avenue, the National
National Auto Supermarket.
Everyone
Here we
always finishes that.
Why don't we go ahead and show
We
that
have
to you?
video of this. It's rare.
Here we go.
This is amazing. Let's play it.
Color,
see it.
enjoy this. Enjoy this.
Wow, well, that was fun.
That was something, huh?
Took me right back. Thank you so much,
back.
Stevie. Again, who sent the video to us?
That was Maria Williams Tripp, the
Thank
daughter
you.
of Bruce Williams,
That was
the
very
owner of
nice.
National
National
Auto
Auto
Supermarket.
An absolute landmark
place.
And an icon for those of us that grew up here in Tampa.
Many,
And
many
did it
years.
take you right back? Look at
Took me
those
back.
cars. Were those cars amazing?
How about the departments? You had the Ford department, the Plymouth department,
The Buick department.
Buick department.
Yep.
It was amazing.
And did anybody else other than the panel here, catch that school bus going down Hillsborough Avenue?
I did notice
that. That was pretty good stuff. All right, we've got other photographs. We've got 10 minutes to go. We've got to get to our caller on line 5. Caller, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Bruce again. I had another funny story.
Okay.
Hey, Bruce.
I guess shortly after high school, I wanted to move out. My parents wouldn't let me take the car because the car I had was really theirs.
Uh-huh.
So he did the ownership card on me. So, yeah, you can move, but don't take my car. So I went. I was in college then. I got a student loan, and I bought a car from a professional wrestler, Iron Man McCord.
Oh, I think I remember that name.
Dennis McCord was his name.
Right.
Robinson with us.
Oh my gosh, I remember him.
Yeah, he became a wrestler. He's a real big guy.
Yeah.
And he came to my house on Saturday morning to collect the payment because I let me pay it off.
Oh.
And
you want to wrestle you
put
for
you in a headlock?
no, but I kept the car. I didn't tell my parents. I kept it down the street of the apartment complex.
Oh.
Until I was ready to move out. And my uncle was over one day, and he was talking about, now you're in college, a lot of college kids are getting Volkswagens. And that's what I bought from McCord.
Oh, boy.
Because he didn't fit in it anymore.
No.
Oh, wow. Bruce.
And then I told my uncle, yeah, I have a Volkswagen. So he told my dad, oh, Bruce said he has a Volkswagen.
Oh, no.
My father goes, he doesn't own a Volkswagen. So the whole family goes in the front yard, and I walk down the street into this apartment complex.
And drive up in the car.
Driving up on the yard.
Oh, wow.
How funny.
What color was it?
The light green.
Light green.
Yeah, it was under the seat. I found billy clubs and stuff. So those guys must have ran havoc.
They were crazy, man. You know what? We know that about the Robinson guys. They were crazy a little bit, but they turned out to be pretty good wrestlers too.
All of them were
No.
Not this one over here.
But listen, Bruce, we've got some photos we got to show. But thank you for calling back and sharing that story. That's very, very good.
Week's show. There was an old fort on Platt Street, a restaurant. They had a go-go girl in the window.
That's right.
That's the old fort.
Right. That's the old fort.
No one mentioned that.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
All righty. Bye-bye.
He's got a lot of good stories.
Call for the pictures, Stevie.
Let's get these pictures going.
Yeah, we got to because we got about
in fact, I
less
think
than
we'll
10
start
minutes left.
A lot of Belita numbers.
Becky,
tonight.
you could begin with...
These wonderful, nice people that send in their pictures. We absolutely have to honor them. Okay, Stevie, who's this first picture here?
This would be, let's bring it up, number 8, actually. Here it is.
Yep.
Angelo Ramori.
All right. Hey, guys, don't have a picture of my first car, but I do have a picture of my first antique car. These are before and after pictures of my 1929 Plymouth four-door sedan I bought in 1980, and after a 2-year restoration. I sold the car in 1988, and I think it is still in the Tampa area.
It's really cute.
And that's
I
one
like
thing,
that.
and you know, it was a year ago almost to the week that we got a chance to
rolling.
ride in Angelo Ramori's
That would have been a fun car to
1965,
ride
1965 drop-top Mustang,
was
and thank you
beautiful.
again, Angelo, for allowing us to ride. That was a privilege to be on the back of that one for the night parade last year. Look at that beautiful work
That's
that
amazing.
Angelo does.
That's
pretty good
fantastic.
stuff. Next photograph.
Emilio Garcia.
Emilio writes, my first car was a 41 Ford Coupe convertible in 1954 when I went to George Washington Junior High. My dad sold it in 1957 when I joined the U.S. Army. I have a picture of it after it was sold. But here is the second ones. He said the 2 second ones I had when I came home from the United States Coast Guard in 1963. A 50 Olds and a 47 Ford. Look at that car, man. Does that not scream bank robbery, bank heist?
It does.
And if he wasn't in, and if Emilio wasn't in a United States Coast Guard uniform, I'd think otherwise of him.
Yeah,
Thank you for sending that in,
Thank you, Emilio.
Emilio. That's a great photo. Next,
Marilyn Messina.
here we go. She says, Marilyn, thank you for sending this in. She writes, the first car I could claim as my own was a green and white 1952 Oldsmobile. It had no AC in it, and it didn't have power steering. That truly was like driving a tank. It looked like a big turtle. I couldn't go to a drive-in restaurant like the Nade without a front seat passenger. I could hardly turn the steering wheel enough to pull into the parking space. So my front seat passenger had to grab the wheel and help me pull into the parking spot. But hey, it was transportation, and I wasn't going to complain. Look at that vehicle. Now, about the first new car I had, it was a red and white 1960 Plymouth Fury. My grandparents bought it for me at the beginning of my senior year in high school. Lucky girl. Go to the next picture. Lucky girl. Yeah, look at that. I look at pictures of it now and wonder how I ever drove this huge car, because if anybody knows Marilyn, and we all do, she's about this big.
Yeah.
You know. And an interesting feature in it was that the gears were controlled by push buttons, not a handle on the steering wheel. See the buttons on the left of the steering wheel? And if you go back to the interior, you can see those buttons control the drive, reverse, and park.
That's really
That is
cool,
so cool.
on the interior.
3 minutes to
amazing.
go?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness. Next picture, real quick. Stevie, tell me what the next picture is. And
This one is, let's see.
Darling,
this
get
one
that
here.
ready. Next picture is?
This picture is Anthony Messina.
Anthony Messina. Read that one, Stevie.
This is
picture with Steve.
Yeah, Anthony Messina's first car was a 1948 two-door Ford. It belonged to his nano when he passed away. His nana gave him the car. He drove it from about 1959 to 1961. It was in perfect condition when he got it and in perfect condition when he sold it.
Perfect.
And you know what? How much time do we have now?
Next picture.
Let's just go right on
about
through.
2.5
Yep.
minutes.
Next picture, Stevie.
This one is
Call it.
this
I'll
is
read
Omar.
it. I'll
Omar
read it.
Castillo.
Got it.
You got
He
it?
said, yep, this is my first hot rod, 1972 Dodge Challenger 440 Magnum, race suspension, and Don Garlett's prepped motor. He says it Ron's Body Shop, flip-flop, red pearl paint, and candy apple red and yellow highlights. Custom fender flaring and sunken side lights and others. Wow, look at that picture. Next photo. Oh, this is Robert Gonzalez. Robert Gonzalez writes 1971 Ford Pinto Snow Day
Oh.
in Tampa, 1977. Next photo.
Wes Singletary. I got this
Go.
one. 1968
Nice car.
Cougar XR7.
Yeah.
Wrecked it on the corner of Florida and Skipper Road.
Oh
It
my
had
gosh.
had a 390 engine, a 4-barrel, way too much power for a 16-year-old boy.
Oh,
Look,
wow.
that's a great
Look at
pic.
that.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Next
Great
picture.
car.
Tom Rose.
Tom Rose,
Drew
let me
Park.
read this. My first car, a 1955 Chevy, picture taken in Brewster High School parking lot with a beautiful Diane Herman Rose buffing my grill. Taken in 1966. Great pictures. All right, we got to get to this bolito drawing.
Okay.
Baby, mix
Shake
them up, mix
Let's
them up.
do it.
You want me to get in there and grab it? I sure
Go
will.
ahead.
Guys, thanks so much for indulging us tonight. Thank you
you.
one and all for all your calls.
Many great
Baby, you wanna
stories
grab it?
tonight.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Yeah,
grab
no,
it.
grab one. There you go. Closest to without going
Okay,
over.
the
1
number
minute to go.
is 37.
Oh, we're good. We have
so
plenty of time.
that
So
would
30
be
35, 34,
oh my
33,
goodness.
32, right?
36, yeah.
35.
Closest
That
to.
would be Robert Gonzalez.
Robert Gonzalez.
36.
On the
36.
money,
Oh,
36.
almost there.
Ding, 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 ding. Robert, we'll get you some coffee, Papa, because you've already won 7 T-shirts. Shot of the booth real quick. Shot of the booth. Let's get a shot of the booth.
He is lucky.
There's Hello Dory.
Wrap it up.
Let's see who's in the booth today. There's Hello Dory. We'll show that, change that camera so we can see you because we can't. There you
There
go.
they are.
There's Betty Yata and there's Audrey. Thanks,
There
wave
they
it up,
are.
wrap it up, wrap
Thanks,
it
y'all.
up. Oh my gosh.
Man,
what
this-
a great
this
show.
flew by, didn't it, though?
Flew by.
It did fly
Listen,
by.
next week, Mara Barrios is going to be in studio with us. We're going to have an hour-and-a-half show, 90 minutes starting at 6:30 next
It'll be
week.
very interesting.
And thank you so much.
let's
I'm
do it.
breathless. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody in the booth, thank you so much for calling tonight and for sending your pictures. On behalf of Tampa, Steve and the 15-Minute Girl, I'm Mario Nunez. Salud.
Salud.
Happy days. We love you, Tampa.
Yes, we
See
do.
you next week.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.